Okay, so here's a bit of an open-ended question. Really, is just designed to get you to think about functions and how they kind of turn up in the real world. So, give an example of a real-world function. So, what's a function? It's something where you have an input, and for any input, you have one output. So, really, functions are a good way of describing how different quantities can interact with each other. So, we looked at one a moment ago, which is what it was how temperature changes over time. So it's very natural to have something like that as a function because time, I mean, things change. Okay, the world around us is in constant flux. So it's natural that some quantities depend on time, of course. Let's do one that's a bit different, though. Let's do the function where, let's say, x, your independent variable, is going to be the height above sea level at some given point. So let's say height in meters height in meters, just to fix the units, above sea level at some given point. So I'll be really precise here. And let's have f of x is, I don't know, could be measuring all sorts of different things, but let's measure the air pressure. The air pressure. In standard units, I think pascals is what they're called. I won't bother going into the details. Air pressure at height x above this point. And height x above given point. So air pressure at height x above given point. Now that's a perfectly good function. Given an input, I get an output. The output's unique because there's only one air pressure at a given point, a given height. Yeah, it's a perfectly valid function. The independent variable here is the height, and the dependent is the air pressure, if you want. So can I describe its domain and range? Well, not very easily. I suppose the domain isn't too difficult, but there are kind of probably physical limitations in a sense. So the domain, well, it's a bit philosophical really, isn't it? I mean, how high above sea level can you get? Is the universe infinite? Is it finite? I don't know. But let's just say it's infinite. So I could get infinitely high. I mean, the air pressure is going to be 0 once I get past a certain point, of course. Doesn't matter. And it starts at 0 because I'm above sea level, right? So sea level would be literally in the sea or on the surface of the sea. We are not looking at things below that, so this would be the domain. And the range, very complicated, right? It's going to depend exactly what the range is too complicated to describe. So real-world functions are immensely complex because the real world is very complex. Like the actual behavior of this function would be very subtle. I should also say there's another thing going on in the background here. I'm thinking about things at a fixed moment in time, if you want, you see, because the air pressure could change over time. So I'm kind of thinking about all of this at one moment in time, let's say noon today type thing. So this is a good example. You could have come up with many others yourself, right? You could have, for example, had how air pressure changes over time. Tons of different things, right? Anything that really that you can measure with numbers will naturally fall into some function somewhere with high likelihood. Functions just very well, they describe so many different ways that different quantities interact with each other.